Welcome back, and in this experience I'm going to show you just how I prepare my photos for social media. I'm going to be using my iPhone 8 Plus today. Instagram is my social media app of choice. It's just smooth, it works well, and it does what you need it to do. Okay, so as you can see here, here's my Instagram page. I'm at jbailey727. Go ahead and go follow me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus button. Okay, and then it's going to go through your camera roll, or you can kind of pick wherever you want a photo. And I'm going to go ahead and pick, let's say this photo. If you all have seen on what I've posted already, you've actually already seen this photo. This is the raw photo. This is straight out of my phone. This is taken with my iPhone 7, straight taken out right out of the phone. And it's not that bad of a shot. The tonal range is good, the clouds look amazing, but there is still a lot you can do with it. Now with me, I like black and white photos. If you can see through any of my postings, you can see that I love black and white photos. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this first, not in black and white, just to kind of show you how to really make everything pop. And then I'm going to go into a black and white and show you what I really love to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that photo and we're going to just hit next. Okay, now there's a few different options that you can do. You can actually scroll through here and you can actually see all the different preset filters. Now if you're on the go or you don't really understand a lot of what makes a photo great, you can pick one of these and it will do just fine. Find the one you like. Oh man, I really like that because how it makes the clouds look. Perfectly fine. But I typically don't do that. With anything, I don't use any preset filters. I make everything myself. Now how you make them is go to normal, so you have no filter, and actually go to edit. Now as you can see in edit, you can see so many different options. You can adjust the tilt, so if you need to go one way or another. Obviously the brightness, contrast, the structure, which I'll kind of go over in a second, the saturation. Now you can give it like a color hue if you want to. Okay. There's fade, which makes it not as sharp. And there's highlights, shadows, a vignette, a tilt shift, where you can kind of make one thing in focus and the other something in the background not, and then there's sharpen. Okay, so now with this photo, what I typically do is I go in line. So I start with brightness and go all the way down. So let's start with brightness. Now this, I think, could use a little brightness, so we're just going to bump that up just a tiny bit. Okay, now wash it out a little bit, but that's where contrast comes in. Going to move the slider down just a little bit, and you can see the difference. Okay, so I'm going to move it up. And if you want to see it before and after, all you have to do is hold your finger on the photo and you can see it before and after. And if you can see right there, it's a very small difference, but it's really impactful. I'm going to push it just a little more. Okay. Alright, let's go with structure. Structure is very close to sharpening. So here's structure all the way up, all the way down. I like to give it a little structure just to give it a little more clarity. And look at those clouds, how much more definition you get from them. Okay, I typically don't mess with warmth because usually when I take a photo, I'm very happy with the white balance of the photo. But the warmth is basically correcting white balance if you need to. If you need to do it more warm, more cool, I usually technically just leave it straight in the middle. Now saturation, do you want more saturation to really make that sky pop? Or do you want no saturation, make it black and white? I'm going to give it a little pop of saturation. Just a tiny hint. Color, I typically don't ever mess with color because I don't want it to have a weird hue like that. So let's not do that. But if you want to, go for it. Be creative. Also, I don't mess with fade, but you can if you want to. Really takes away the contrast. I don't like that. Now, highlights. I do mess with highlights. You can see how it adjusts. I adjust obviously according to the photo, so I think it needs a little less highlights. So let's take that down. Let's go to shadows. Okay, you can see how that goes. I need to give it a little more shadow, so we'll do that. Alright, vignetting is the darkness or lightness around the image. So you can see that there's no black edging around the photo. But you can go all the way up, and can you tell the difference? No vignette, vignette. No vignette, vignette. Look at that. We're just going to give it a slight vignette. Alright, and sharpen. Obviously it just makes things sharper. Just if something happens, you can get out of focus or anything like that. Just bump it up a little bit. And so to me, that is a social media worthy photo. And so let me show you before and after. This is the after. This is before. After, before. After, before. How amazing is that? Just by a few little steps in Instagram. And again, that's one thing why I really love using Instagram. Because you can go in and change each individual one of these settings. And it really gives you the control, you the photographer the control, to really make the photo what you want it to be. And it really helps you convey the story. Just like if you watched my first video, if you haven't, please do. It really tells you that photography is about telling a story. And when you're editing a photo just helps you tell the story. You don't want to do it too much, because then it just looks really bad and really gaudy, and we don't want that. So before and after again. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to completely discard that. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what I do for a black and white photo. Now black and white photos is actually, that's what I love. I love just the raw beauty of black and white. So let's choose a different photo. Let's choose this one. I posted this one earlier. So let's go to next. Now with this, I technically do use a pre-made filter, okay? So I scroll all the way over and I look for Inkwell. I just think it gives it a good, nice, solid base to where I can go in and fully edit. Now you can take a pre-made filter and adjust it, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right here. Okay, let's go to edit. So let's go to brightness first. Remember, I always start from brightness and go all the way down. So let's start with brightness. I think that is a little bright, so I'm actually going to take the brightness down a little bit to really give it a good tonal range. Okay, now let's adjust contrast. You can really see all the little details of the ship pop out. Okay, now structure, remember this is sort of like sharpening. Let's give it a little, just a little tint. Now what's interesting is with warmth, I sometimes use warmth when I do black and whites, because the black and white tones go off what colors the photo actually is. So if the photo is warmer, it's going to be a little brighter. If the photo is cooler, it could be a little darker. Let me show you that. This is all the way warm. Can you see the changes? I won't mess with that right now. Alright, so saturation, same thing. So you give it more saturation, the colors change while you're in black and white. See? And I typically give it a little pop of saturation to really make all of that pop. I don't mess with color, don't mess with fade. Let's go into highlights. Let's give it right there, just a little bit of pinch. Just a little bit. Okay, let's go into contrast. We're going to take the contrast down to really define those shadows. And vignetting, I don't know if we need any vignetting. Let's see. So this is a full vignette. Remember, whenever you want to see what you've done, just go ahead and click on the photo with your finger and you can see the difference. I like that. Now, I don't use the tilt shift. Now let's go to sharpen. A little more. And now this is a social media ready photo. And you can tell And you can see the before and after. So go, put your finger on it, and there's what it looks like in color, and there's what it looks like in black and white. And that's the great thing about Instagram. Each one of your photos can be completely customizable to fit your style. If you've ever looked at a very well-known photographer, all of their photos look almost exactly the same because they have a style. Now, this is diving in really deep, but when a photographer has a style, he is telling a story. And like I said in the first video, photography is all about telling the story. It's all about emphasizing the emotion that you felt while you took that photo. I know this was a quick video, but I hope this helped you to be able to learn how to edit your photos for social media. Social media is one of the most powerful ways to share your story. Social media is one of the most powerful ways to show the world what you just experienced. Thank you all for stopping by. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so you know every time I post a new video. If you have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them down below. Or if you have any suggestions for my next videos, go ahead and leave those down there as well. And go ahead and follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll go ahead and leave all of that information down below. Alright, you all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this experience.